Hey there guys, how's it going? Don't exactly know how to start this off since it's my first movie review, but Star Wars Episode 7! Now, I've been a huge fan of this franchise since I was 3, and I must say, it's great to have new films coming out again, especially after a certain trilogy that came out kinda crapped over the originals. Yeah, no offense, George. But how well are the new films holding up compared to the original trilogy? Well, that's what we're here to find out, so let's get started. The film starts us off on the planet Jakku, where we meet Poe Dameron and Lor San Tekka, played by Max von Sydow. Ooh, I wonder what role he's gonna have in the film.
This will begin to make things right.
He hands Poe a map that will reveal where the location of Luke Skywalker is, as he went into hiding, and it's up to Poe to deliver it to the Resistance. But a very over-adorable droid named BB-8 comes in and warns them that danger is on its way.
We got company.
And he couldn't be more right, as ships from the First Order arrive with stormtroopers led by Kylo Ren, and they come into the village and they start destroying everything, including poor Max. Kind of a wasted opportunity there. Just a little bit.
You take this. It's safer with you than it is with me. You get as far away from here as you can. Do you hear me? I'll come back for you. It'll be all right.
Whoa, he just caught that blast in mid-air. That's freaking badass.
Nothing, sir. Put him on board.
So Kylo Ren takes Poe prisoner and, well, this happens.
Sir, the villagers.
Hello. Kill them all.
However, when the First Order arrive back on their ship, one stormtrooper begins to question himself, which, I'm not gonna lie, that definitely threw me off at the beginning of this movie. Why would a stormtrooper suddenly not be okay with following orders? Unless you read up on the characters, but, well, not everyone does that, we're just using the movie.
FN 2187. Submit your blaster for inspection.
Yes, Captain.
And who gave you permission to remove that helmet?
I love the constant head bobbing of Phasma in the back.
Is that how they talk? They look ridiculous.
Yes, Captain.
We then cut back to the planet Jakku, where we meet Rey, a scavenger who works for Star Wars' version of Mr. Waternoose.
Without Scream, we have no power. Yes, it's dangerous work.
She stumbles upon BB-8 and saves him from a fellow scavenger, and BB takes a liking to her. Aw, BB is so cute. He's just a ball of adorableness. Anyway, but the film cuts back to the First Order, and I'm gonna just let this scene play out.
I had no idea we had the best pilot in the Resistance on board. Comfortable?
Not really.
I'm impressed. No one has been able to get out of you what you did with the map.
You might want to rethink your technique.
Where is it?
The Resistance will not be intimidated by you.
Where is it?
Okay, I don't really care what anyone says. That right there is absolutely terrifying. Seriously, one of the best things about this film is how they treat the Force. Its power is awesome in many good and terrifying ways. Good lord, I can only imagine what Kylo Ren was putting inside his mind.
I don't like sand. It's coarse, rough,
It's in a droid. A BB unit.
Well then, if it's on Jakku, we'll soon have it.
I leave that to you.
The next day, when Rey reports to her boss, he makes an offer for the little ball of joy, as the First Order has put a bounty on its head. Rey, not knowing this at the time, refuses.
Actually, the droids are not for sale.
Shortly after all of this, we get a scene where the stormtrooper from earlier has decided he wants to leave, and his only means of escaping is Poe. The two steal a TIE fighter, and through a very awesome and brutal escape, crash land on Jakku. Upon waking up from the wreckage, Finn finds no trace of Poe anywhere, and the TIE fighter gets swallowed by the ground. So, his next logical goal is to move to the nearest town, wherever that may be. How he could have possibly known which direction to go is, well, I guess, luck, I suppose.
In my experience, there's no such thing as luck.
So, when Finn reaches the little outpost, he comes across Rey and BB-8. And BB-8 thinks Finn stole the jacket of his former owner, Poe. Thus, we get this moment.
Him?
Oh, jeez! Got right in the face!
Fatality.
What's your hurry, thief?
And after a short explanation of what had happened to him and Poe, Finn, Rey, and BB-8 notice some stormtroopers are searching for them in the area. After being spotted, they're chased out of the outpost by both stormtrooper and TIE fighters. So, the ship they were going to use to escape blows up before they can get to it, which results in a very nice moment for the fans. Sitting in those chairs just always looks so painful to me, especially the one at the bottom. You're just sitting there holding yourself up with nothing but your arms.
I can do this.
I can do this. I can do this.
After a kick-ass chase sequence in the Falcon, the three of them escape the First Order and are now in space. But back with our villains, we see Kylo Ren get a piece of bad news and proceed to go nuts and destroy part of the room.
Thank you for pressing the self-destruct button. This ship will self-destruct in 3 minutes.
We then see our trio floating in space when they quickly get grabbed by a First Order cargo ship. Well, that didn't seem to take very long. But what the three companions don't know is that the cargo ship is really being driven by Han Solo and Chewbacca.
Chewie. We're home.
But bad news doesn't like to stay away long in Star Wars, as two gangs show up to, well, basically kill Han Solo.
Han Solo,
Oh look, the red Spaceballs are here.
you're a dead man.
Well, Atik, what's the problem?
And to make matters worse, a couple of really hungry Rathtars are let loose on the ship, and... well, it's definitely a feast for them. No, you stupid blob. Don't eat the Chinese guy. You'll just be hungry again in an hour. Amongst the chaos that's going on while the Rathtars are going, the crew tries to escape, and unfortunately, Chewie gets wounded. God, that scream, that's just, ooh, that's awful on the ears. They all hop aboard the Falcon and lightspeed their happy asses out of the cargo ship.
Inform the First Order that Han Solo has the droid they want.
Back with our villains, we meet the real enemy pulling the strings, Supreme Leader Snoke, played by Andy Serkis.
Up the stairs we go.
until we come to the tunnel.
Leader, I take full responsibility.
And I must say, I rather like how this scene is set up. Everything's draped in shadow, just giving a very, very dark side feeling to this, which is, well, good for the enemy.
The weapon, it is ready. I believe the time has come to use it. We shall destroy the government that supports the Resistance, the Republic. Without their friends to protect them, the Resistance will be vulnerable, and we will stop them before they reach Skywalker.
Go. Oversee preparations.
What are you preparing? You're always preparing. Just go.
Let's go.
There's something more. The droid we seek is aboard the Millennium Falcon. In the hands of your father, Han Solo.
Say what? The scene then changes to a new planet that essentially looks like Middle-earth, where Han takes the merry band to a local cantina run by a new character named Maz Kanata, or aka Yoda 2.0.
Han Solo!
Hey, Maz.
Han and Rey ask for passage to the planet the Resistance is on, but she tells them basically to take them himself. And he's like, yeah, but Leia doesn't want to see me. Why not? She's your wife. I don't really see what the problem would be here. I mean, seriously, the fate of the galaxy is at risk, and you're like, I don't want to take them because it might get awkward. Come on, Solo. Come on, you could do so much better than that. However, Finn isn't okay with the idea, as he believes they should all flee and get as far from the First Order as possible. Very understandable, given the first scene. And it's here where he tells Rey that he's actually a stormtrooper. She wants him to stay, but he doesn't, so they part ways. Once he leaves, Rey hears a strange noise coming from downstairs and decides to investigate.
Vesper, come to me.
Is it really you?
Yes, my dear. I guarantee it. Would I lie?
So she finds Luke's old lightsaber and... well... this.
Quiet, girl.
Really freaky. Really freaky. Deciding she no longer wants any part of this as well, she goes off into the woods. I don't really know what her plan was here. She wasn't going back towards the Falcon. So now we go back to our antagonists, as General Hux delivers a speech to the First Order.
Of a regime that acquiesces to disorder. At this very moment, in a system far from here, the New Republic lies to the galaxy, while secretly supporting the treachery of the loathsome Resistance. This fierce machine which you have built, upon which we stand, will bring an end to the Senate, to their cherished fleet. All remaining systems will bow to the First Order, and will remember this as the last day of the Republic!
And it's free taco night! Wow, this dude is really something, actually. This reminds me so much of Hitler and the Nazis, a very powerful scene in my point of view, as it demonstrates the power that the First Order actually has. Although, I have to bring out the next thing, which, depending on your point of view, this could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. Death Star 3. So, this whole thing is leading up to the firing of the First Order superweapon called Starkiller Base, which, yeah, it's basically the Death Star, if it took some really super potent death sticks. Seriously, this thing is built into a friggin' planet! I mean, don't get me wrong, it looks cool, but another Death Star? Really? I mean, I guess you can argue that Disney wanted to play it safe, as this was their first film for Star Wars released. But, and, you know, maybe they just wanted to stick to a safe formula. But, I don't know. It kind of throws me off just a little bit. So anyway, the Death Star 3, Starkiller Base, fires and destroys the New Republic.
The First Order, they've done it.
Afterwards, the First Order, upon learning where the BB-8 droid was located, thanks to this chick... Whoa, hold on. Go back. Harley Quinn. I get it, the Joker is an ass, but, I mean, really, come on. This guy? Seriously? He looks like the thing that ate Pizza the Hut. So the First Order arrives, destroys the cantina, and Kylo captures Rey. But then, the Resistance appears and Kylo's like, screw this, I'm getting out of here. And after the battle's over, Leia shows up. Her and Han greet and...
I must get my proper Omni installed.
You change your hair.
Same jacket.
No, new jacket.
Awkward. Afterwards, everyone goes back to the Resistance's base where Finn meets up with Poe.
Oh no. Poe Dameron, you're alive? Buddy.
Turns out he actually survived.
In the crash, I woke up at night, no you, no ship, nothing. BB-8 says that you saved him.
The Resistance then devises a plan to destroy Starkiller Base, and it's basically just like Episode 4.
How do we blow it up? There's always a way to do that.
Sort of. Han, Chewie, and Finn must land on the planet to disable the shields and save Rey. In order to get the ship past the shields, though, they have to land out of light speed. Okay, it didn't happen like that. After that, though, they enter the base very appropriately.
Hey! The longer we're here, the less luck we're gonna have. The shields.
They get the jump on Captain Phasma and force her to bring down the shields. It's at this point I'm like, why didn't you just call for help? I mean, yeah, I guess they'd shoot her, but you're a soldier. You're in service to die anyway. It's almost as bad as when Morgan Freeman didn't open the floodgates in Dark Knight Rises. Seriously, it's a failsafe. Come on. There are plenty of other people that would have dealt with the problem right there. So they run into Rey, and they begin to set charges so they can blow certain fuel lines to Kingdom Come, thereby creating an opening for pilots to come in and blow the base up. And it's here where we see Kylo Ren walk out over a bridge when Han stops him. And I gotta say, I love the cinematography in this shot. Plus, it's a really heartfelt moment. The moment when everything goes dark, and then you just see nothing but a red light appear on Kylo just before he actually kills Han. It's just so symbolic, as this is the darker version of him trying to take over.
Thank you.
So, Han dies and falls to his death, leading Chewie to go on a manslaughter spree. Alright, activate rage mode.
Double kill, triple kill, kill-tacular, Kilimanjaro, kill Trozen, kill Frenzy. Unfreaking believable.
Meanwhile, Finn and Rey are making their way out to the Falcon when they get a very unwelcome surprise visit from Kylo.
We're not done yet.
You're a monster.
It's just us now. Han Solo can't save you.
Rey!
Oh, jeez. Well, I hope he's not dead from that. Good lord. But shortly after Finn's brutalization, the lightsaber flies over to a now very conscious Rey. Her and Kylo have a lightsaber fight, and honestly, I buy the fact that she wins. Hear me out. Kylo clearly isn't going his hardest. First off, he got shot by Chewie, and yes, we've all heard that one before and whatnot. But the thing is, he keeps offering the idea that he could train her to use her Force abilities. Clearly, he wants her to stay alive in that fight.
You need a teacher! I could show you the ways of the Force!
But she refuses and basically says, "Screw you," with a saber slash in the face. The two become separated as the planet then begins to basically explode from within itself, from a couple of well-placed shots from Poe and his X-Wing. Rey and Finn are found and rescued by Chewie. And that's the end of the fight.
Our job's done here.
Now back at the Resistance base, R2 finally awakens as he had been shut down for the whole film, and he tells everyone basically that he has the other bit of the map leading to Luke. BB-8 and R2 fill out the whole map, and Rey and Chewie set off to the coordinates. We learn that Finn is still alive, though I wonder how, after... And they both go to a water planet with some islands scattered around. This is where we see Rey make her way to the top of one of the islands, where she meets old Luke Skywalker. That's right. And that's basically the movie. Now, when you look at it, for the most part, it follows very much A New Hope, but there's a lot of original content in this that I'm okay with it. The cinematography of this film is amazing. It all feels like Star Wars and looks absolutely gorgeous with the lighting and just pretty much everything. The cast was spot on for each character. I love Finn and Rey, and I can't wait to learn more about all of them. They do a great job at making their friendships feel genuine in this film. And that's probably because the way they set these two characters up is that they're kind of the first really best friends each other has ever had. Andy Serkis does a great job as the menacing Snoke, and I can't wait to learn more about him and Kylo and General Hux. There's also a lot of comedic banter between these characters as well, and while some of their lines can be cringeworthy, overall it's so well done that I'm okay with it. I also love the amount of practical effects to use in this. I mean, some of them you can tell, but it's still appreciated, and it looks way better than anything CG could have made. Now, that's not to say the film doesn't have its drawbacks, because it does. No film's perfect. Like, I was fine with one of Kylo Ren's outbursts earlier, but we get two Honestly, I feel like that demonstrates more of how he's just pouting rather than being unpredictable. Also, it's a shame that we don't get more of Phasma. Seriously, what a really cool character, and she's only in the film for maybe like 5 minutes, if that. But most of these are small gripes that I can get over. The film is just so damn good. So that's my thoughts on Star Wars The Force Awakens. Have a great rest of your day, guys, and I'll see you on the next review. See you later.